Hey everyone, 210 back on Spyral Gameplay. This time back in another tournament. This time in DKayed's weekly $100 meta tourneys. He's actually changed the format up before. Before I was doing the Tri-Brigade A and Spyral 2-deck format thing. This time it's just a best of 3 no sideboard, and I'm obviously playing Spyral because it's my favorite deck. So I'm playing just a regular old best of 3. I wish we did have sideboards. I think Spyral is actually one of the better sideboarding decks in the format, but you know that's not how Master Duel works, so that's not how we're doing it. I only get to the round of 16 in this tournament, just like previous. I get pretty unlucky in the final round, and I'll show you guys that one because it's really insane. But we'll get there when we get there. But I do get lucky earlier in the tournament, and I'll show you that here. This is round 1, and my opponent's on Tri-Brigade. I did lose the coin flip. I don't actually ever win a coin flip in the tournament, funnily enough. But I get to show off going second with Spyral, which is something I did want to get more videos of anyhow. So my opponent's on Tri-Brigade. They're just going to do the regular fractal line into Kit into Bear Brim and Rugal, into Revolt. And they're only going to set 3 here. They don't set their Cosmic Cycle in. I don't know why. Maybe they wanted it in hand later for like a Farigite or something as a potential discard, because maybe it's not good against the... It's in the blind, it's like not necessarily good, but it wouldn't have been that good here either. So, yep. That's it. They set up Revolt, and they have 2 more sets to kind of protect the Revolt, I guess. And here's where I was talking about I get lucky. I draw Magician Souls off the top, which is insane here. My opponent's going to immediately Revolt before I get a chance to draw 2, which I would say is not normally where you want to Revolt against Spyral, but in this particular situation, it's actually insane. Like, if my opponent knew my hand, this would be the correct time to revolt, because with 2 dangers, I can actually start clearing their back row before committing to my master plan. And I was going to basically just draw 2 cards here. Like, discarding my missions isn't a -2, it's just a straight +2 because those cards are better in the graveyard. So yeah, this is actually the correct play for my opponent, even though in the abstract I would probably try to save Shurik for my first master plan summon. But yeah, funnily enough, I'm going to activate my Super Agent here just so in case it discards off a danger, I don't lose out on the chance to look at their top card. And I discard a Rescue Mission with Nessie, which is good. And I saw a Zephyros and a Sleeper. Not the best. Zephyros actually isn't bad here, but Sleeper obviously isn't great. But here's what I meant. Like, my dangers, if they don't ever get rid of my Magician Souls, I would have 3 monsters on the field here, and that gets me an easy link chain. I can go turn my dangers into nightmares, and turn my nightmares into Access Code Talker, and I can completely wipe their board before ever committing to Master Plan. Now, this is why Zephyros wasn't too bad here. I can return the Nessie to my hand, go into Unicorn, and discard the Nessie. That's like, you know, really fun tech that Zephyros allows. It basically just +1s me here, because the Nessie is going to replace itself on the discard of Unicorn, and I completely clear my opponent's back row. Though the crossout does shuffle their deck, so I don't know their top card anymore, and that's going to end up making me go into some crazy links to get Drone on board, because I have used my normal summon already on a on Zephyros, so I'm going to have to like use my Assault on my Quick Fix, etc., etc. So I can, now that I've completely cleared my opponent's back row, they have no more ways to really stop Master Plan. I finally commit to my Master Plan. I'm even going to go to an Appaloosa here. This is so I could, like, maybe negate... I was thinking maybe I could negate their Shureg. Like, I would pop their Rugal, then pop their Shureg with an Access Code Talker, and negate the Shureg so they can't get a shuffle once I see their top card, and that's pretty relevant here. So I'm going to go into a Resort. And Quick Fix Resort's going to get me Drone, because why not? Actually, because I've already gotten the Sleeper and Agent, the Resort has nothing to really get anymore, because I'm going to search all the rest of my monsters. My final monster is Last Resort in this situation. I'm going to get that with my Quick Fix. Maybe it would have been better to like search out my last master plan, but I don't think so, because I'm going to end up summoning it with Helix, so it's a little weird. So I do get to go into Helix here with Quick Fix plus Master Plan, but I don't know my opponent's top card, right? I've already used up my Super Agent. I can't really easily summon my Drone because I've already used up my Assault. So I'm actually going to start using Quick Fix as an inherent discard outlet to build up material on the board. My plan here was to eventually get into Barricade Board Blocker off of Quick Fix and Link Kuriboh. And discard Drone, and then summon Drone with one of the rescue missions that I'm discarding here, because I'm going to discard once again with Quick Fix. That's why I was doing the chain rescue thing, because I can just make... Quick Fix by itself puts both rescues in graveyard, and then I can have one rescue in graveyard, summon Quick Fix. I could go into Barricade Board Blocker here, and discard Drone, but I do have Tsuchinoko, so why not, right? Maybe I can get lucky and discard the Drone, and I do. And funnily enough, I draw into another danger, so now I can just discard that danger off a Barricade Board Blocker, instead of having to discard the Drone, and that's going to get me another danger on the field because it's Jackalope. Jackalope was just summoned Mothman, and that's going to get me into Curious. Very hilarious. None of this was necessary. I had the game regardless, but you know, why not play correctly, right? So this does get me to Curious, which puts Destrudo in my graveyard. Not super relevant here because I don't need to go into any of my synchros, but it would be nice if I, like, for some reason my opponent stops me from killing them somehow. Battle Fader, I don't know. They out my Appaloosa and Battle Fader me or some crap. I would have the Destrudo for follow-up next turn. So I can finally summon my drone off my last rescue, stack the top of the deck with the Skullmeister, which is a dead draw for next turn. So even my opponent can't stop me from killing them, they have one less card functionally because Skullmeister is useless. Finally go into my Axis Code here. Now I can just clear their field, negate all of their effects with Appaloosa, and my opponent's just going to go ahead and concede once I activate the drone. This is obviously game here. A 3800 attack sleeper, a big Axis Code, and yeah, that's it. I could have Axis Code Talker popped Rugal, negate with Appaloosa, Axis Code Talker pop Shireg, negate with Appaloosa, and I had lethal on board from there, and that's it. That's game, right? I thought it was a pretty fun, interesting way to show like how powerful Spyral can be going second against minor interaction, right? That was only two really decent. I mean, it was three. There was an infinite impermanence. That was only three interactions, but they weren't really stacked up well against the way the deck functions, right? As long as you can bait out all the interactions before you have to commit to your master plan, that you can just keep going, right? The core of the Spyral combo is master plan looping, and if they can't ever stop your master plan loop, you just win, basically. So yeah, that was game one. Let's get into game two. Alright, here we are back with game two. I am going second, and this hand's terrible. Double for, I mean, actually, it's not that bad if my opponent had a real board. Forbidden Droplets with Master Plan in hand, and a Resort to go get Quick Fix is actually really good. But we're going to see my opponent doesn't have anything like that. They have a bunch of hand traps, so it's almost like going first, but I am going second. They just set a couple and pass the Cross of Designator. Does nothing against my deck, really. I draw a Mothman, which is interesting, so I'm going to play my Resort and activate my Mothman with the hopes of discarding anything in my hand but Mothman. But I discard Mothman. Great. They always love sniping themselves. But my opponent... Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to pause right here for a second. If you notice, my opponent drew a Nibiru and then discarded Nibiru. So at this point, I know my opponent has Nibiru. So from now on, I'm going to be trying to play around Nibiru and seeing like when my opponent's going to use it. And I don't know about the other two, obviously, but I'm going to try to play around it. So I'm going to normal summon Quick Fix, go get Big Red. I do have my Master Plan in Graveyard because, thankfully, Mothman does have the other effect of discarding my Master Plan, which did open up my hand. So I'm going to summon Master Plan. Master Plan's going to go get my Rescue Mission. And at this point, I'm actually going to activate Bigfoot just to see if I can get another monster on board. And I discarded Droplets, which is fine. So I summon Bigfoot. So I'm at 3 summons now. I draw Tsuchinoko, might as well activate that. Another sniped. 2 out of 3 snipes, great. You see me... you know, in anguish there. So I'm going to go into my Master Plan. I'm going to go do that. So at this point, I could get Nibiru'd. I'm actually trying to bait the Nibiru because I do have the Rescue Mission in Graveyard thanks to the Phoenix here. And I'm going to pop their back row. I'm just like, are you going to Nibiru me here? No. Okay. I did chain block my Master Plan from Ash. I think this is where my opponent was trying to save their Ash for, and it ends up being the last time they can really profitably Ash, but I did chain block it with Nightmare Phoenix. That's why you chain block, folks. So Master Plan's going to get me another Resort and a drone, and drone plus Resort means I can go get my Super Agent, and even though I've already used my normal summon, I could still Assault Mission and all that stuff if I wanted to. So I have really good follow-up here. So I'm going to use my Rescue Mission, bring back Master Plan. I'm just seeing, like, when are you going to Nibiru, opponent? I'm waiting for it. I've got follow-up. So this would be probably been the best time for them to Nibiru at this point because I wouldn't have gotten my Assault Mission, but I would have had a great follow-up for next turn even with the Nibiru. So, rough for them, right? So I am going to go into Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn's going to pitch the Assault Mission, getting the Nerval back in deck. And at this point, I really want to go into Drone plus Agent just to stack their deck. So I'm going to go to an Appaloosa. Now that, like, I know my opponent's got Nibiru, I'm just like, okay, well, if you're going to let me make Appaloosa, I'll just make Appaloosa and keep a 3,000 attack Bigfoot on the field. So this lets me do my Drone Agent play. I banish Assault, summon a Drone, summon Agent. That's going to get me the Helix, and Helix is going to be the easy link climb I need up into Axis Code Talker. Though, because I've already used my Unicorn to make Appaloosa, I don't have an easy way to get into Curious, so I actually don't have a 3 to make Axis Code Talker with. I actually have to make it with a couple of 2s, which is funny. But yeah, so I get my last Rescue Mission, discard that with Quick Fix, summon Quick Fix, get my last Resort. Now here's where I'm actually going to make a bit of a misplay. First I'm going to go into Masquerena because might as well make a Axis Code Talker that's immune to Lightning Storm as opposed to just an Axis Code Talker. I don't think I'm making this IP Masquerena any other time. So, this is lethal on board, 43 plus 3,000. Even if I have to activate my Appaloosa on Nibiru, 43 plus 3,000 plus 800 is lethal. And so I actually am going to misplay here. I drop my Sleeper, and the reason I drop my Sleeper is, like, maybe my opponent has something that's going to, like, I need to pop mid-battle to get lethal. I wasn't thinking, like, I was thinking, like, I'm going to negate this Nibiru, obviously, with my Appaloosa. So we'll go ahead and get through that. But they're going to have the Effect Filler, which is going to wipe my board. And this is a misplay on my part because I should have maybe been playing around on Effect Failure or Infinite Impermanence. I was thinking like maybe they have a way to put a monster on board that I wasn't aware of, and I would need to pop it mid-combat with a sleeper to not to just to win the game. But I should have saved the sleeper and last resort in my hand. The nice thing about this is I do have a droplets left over, which was my backup, and I do have an active resort. So Resort's going to keep recycling my Spyral monsters. My opponent's top card is bad. It's a crossout. I put a crossout on top with Drone. Like, what are they doing with that, right? I get a block off the Nibiru token. I'm not really worried about that. So, like, I'm thinking, okay, I've got Sleeper. I've got Resort active. I draw a 1-for-1, which is amazing here. But I'm just going to activate Resort, go get my Sleeper. My opponent's going to be in a world of hurt. And they Ash Blossom. Well, okay, I wasn't expecting that. You know, they didn't use it the previous turn. And they really should have at some point. You know, it's better to use Ash than not use it, even if you throw it at the wrong spot. Thankfully, I do have this fun drone effect that you don't usually see a lot in modern Spyral. It was a lot more common in when Spyral was new, but I used drone to put Agent back in my hand so I can turn on this 1-for-1 and summon a Jet Synchron. I still have my rescue missions, which was my other follow-up, and I can get my other rescue mission with Master Plan. And yeah, here we go, right? At this point, I can go to Borlode Savage Dragon. And that was kind of my plan. Like, even if my board gets wiped, I know my opponent's next card's bad. It's like, it's very unlikely they can OTK me like that, especially through a Forbidden Droplet, because I could, like, even if they can get into Axis Code Talker, I could just Forbidden Droplet and negated the Axis Code Talker. I could, like, rescue mission, bring back Master Plan, send Master Plan with Forbidden Droplets, negate Axis Code Talker, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, as you can see, like, I can now set up this crazy line. I get into my Halka Fireback just because, like, it gives me a free discard to my opponent's turn with Locust if I want it next turn. And I can still go into Borlode Savage Dragon with a little Jet Synchron shuffle, you know, get my rescue missions in the graveyard, get my Master Plan. And I just have this Ash Blossom hanging out here. Why not? But the important thing here is the Halka Firebacks is a little bit of extra damage on top of my Borlode Savage Dragon, which gets me lethal next turn. My opponent's just going to cross out because why not? Shuffle their deck because I've stacked their deck with bad cards. So a shuffle is probably better than drawing the second worst of their top 3 from my drone. But yeah, at this point I'm just going to attack over the Nibiru, and it doesn't really matter what my opponent shuffled into because I have a Borlode Savage Dragon. It negates anything they have. And this time I don't commit the Sleeper correctly because, like, if my opponent somehow outs my Sleeper, it wipes my board. Well, I can Borlode it, but still. My opponent draws an Impermanence, which does nothing here, and this is just game. I still don't even need to commit my Sleeper if I don't want to. So I'm just going ahead. But I know my opponent, like, it doesn't matter what the last card is because I have Borlode Savage Dragon. Like, there's no card in the game that I can imagine that does anything here. So I'm just going to commit my Sleeper and pop their back rows just to see what it is. But maybe I shouldn't be doing this either because I still have game with Borlode negating whatever they have and attacking. So, you know, this is me, like, overcommitting with Sleeper too much. So yeah, this is not my best game. I really should have kept that Sleeper and Last Resort in hand and just played into the fact that I had lethal with Appaloosa through Nibiru. But yeah, so, I mean, not the worst still. Like, I had my reasons, they just weren't very good. So yeah, that's game 2. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is a pretty fun tournament for me, even though it only went 3 rounds for me. I had to buy in the first round. This is my second round opponent technically, but I'm going to title it as round 1. And my next games are actually pretty interesting. They actually showed up on DKayed stream if you watched the tournament. But yeah, so that was game 1, round 1, game 2, round 1, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good junk, and I'll see you guys next time for round 2.